Everybody, Brian Good here. Kind of a short version of Snow Talk today. Hopefully, I'll try to make it for it on Friday when I'm in, and next week. But a lot going on here today, so I'm gonna get more focus of the weekend. We got a lot going on with the holiday, and yes, on the board. Really, the only thing I'm going to keep that system for later next week. I will discuss that in just a second, why that remains on the board. But again, our main issue is going to be obviously the holiday forecast. Travel's been tough. I mean, interstate's been backed up, so. Can't say this enough. Plan ahead. I haven't had a situation where I've had stop traffic on my way to work in a long time in my time of day that I come in. So it's a good indicator that it's going to be a busy day on the road, especially in downtown, the junction. All right, we've had some passing high clouds. Here's some more come in. I got it on sensitive mode. This is more the reality. And again, you can see how thin they are in nature. And you see a little bit of green showing up in St. Louis. A lot it's not reaching the ground. The atmosphere is really dry. At the moment. We will see more of those clouds, though, tomorrow, and that will kind of play havoc a little bit with our highs. I think 66 to 68 is still going to be reachable, but the cloud cover will be the deciding factor, I think, on that idea. Wider view still shows the setup still at play here. This upper low moving in across the Rockies is going to be the main travel headache by air if you're heading in that direction, but it is going to keep funneling moisture into our area. The problem is the moisture surges north and east, but once it gets to this arc here of Illinois, central Kentucky, and Atlanta, it begins to run out of steam. It's like someone throwing a snowball at you, and eventually the snowball goes down or hits you in the face, but it goes down toward the ground. It just runs out of steam, and that's kind of the scenario we're seeing with the rain for the weekend. A lot of rain's being thrown at us. How far to the north and east it goes is going to be the big question. So the more north and east you are, Louisville, if anything, mainly light rain you would see. So I think rainfall totals, by all means, are going to be heaviest the closer you are to that throw, which is going to be West Kentucky, Evansville, Southern Illinois, back toward Missouri. The closer you are to the initial throw, that's where your heavier rain totals will be, and the most time you will see rain falling from the sky versus the rest of us will see lesser. Again, more north and east you go, it begins to drop off. I hope that makes sense. So let's talk about how this is going to play out. Here is current temperature outlook right now, 61 in Louisville. New updates coming out in about 30 minutes or so. Our forecast, I believe, is 63. We should hit that. Don't see a reason why we wouldn't. But we're all talking about quite a bit of rain being thrown at us, and this is for the Louisville area. And the euro is a little bit higher, and there's a reason for that. I'll explain. But really, it's all about timing more so than the amounts. And let's get right into that part of the forecast. First off, if you're going to be out traveling overnight tonight, perhaps you don't want to deal with all this traffic mess out there. I don't blame you. You want to travel overnight. Looks fine. Dry, temperatures not too bad. 40s will be likely. All right, Thanksgiving Day. Again, 66 to 68 looks to be the range we're falling in. How thick the clouds are at the time that we have our max heating of the day, which this time of year is around 2 or 3 o'clock. Will determine how warm we actually get. I mean, I know it's a couple degrees between the two, but that's kind of the range we are looking at for highs for Thanksgiving. It will be breezy again tomorrow. Keep that in mind if you are going to be putting up your holiday decorations, especially the garland. If you're trying to put garland up or trying to put trees or lights onto the tree, you may be battling the wind. So be patient, all right? Are you Griswolds out there? All right, then as we head into Friday, here's where a delay is starting to show up in a lot of the models I've been looking at, especially the high-res models. It looks like for you shoppers, if you're getting up early or you're going to be out all night, Friday morning looks fairly mild, 50s, and at this point dry. In fact, we may squeeze out another day in the mid to upper 60s, especially over Kentucky, the way it's looking now for Friday. The rain band is taking longer to get in here on the trends. So the more north and west you are, the chances are you have to deal with the rain. Eventually, it'll cross the river as we didn't do Friday night. And this Saturday, notice how spotty it is, though. It's not going to be overly heavy rain, just kind of spotty showers passing through. And we'll get a brief break and then another surge. You can see it's showing up there in the bottom of your screen around Owensboro. Another surge will be in here, looks like, as we get into Saturday. Hopefully, that will not impact too much of the Governor's Cup there into Lexington. Hopefully, you guys will be far enough east just in the lighter side of things when it comes to rainfall. But we'll examine that a little more closer to news time. So here is a different way to look at this. I'm going to show once again what you're seeing here is the precipitation And again, it doesn't indicate rain or snow. It's just literally precipitation falling from the sky. And then you've got the colors here are the temperatures aloft in the atmosphere. Once you get on the other side of this white line, you're at the rain-snow line, basically, aloft in the atmosphere. And these white lines you see are basically the pressure lines, just giving me an idea of the areas of low pressure passing through. This is the European model. Saturday. It shows that slug of moisture coming through. We see it fade out as we head into Sunday, and tries to focus it more over Kentucky than Indiana, by the way. Then as we head into Monday, another surge moves in. You see the actual low moving through as we head into Monday into Tuesday. And then as we head into Tuesday, the low gives us a good shot of rain. And then here comes the rain-snow line aloft. Let me change my one so you can see my marker a little better. There we go. There's the rain-snow line. And this is a cold pocket, so this is definitely snow in the Great Lakes here for Tuesday on the 1st. And then all the rain moving to the east. As always the case, it's always a catch-up. How quickly do we cool down? And at this point, this looks like a cold pocket of air for Wednesday. If anything, I think we're going to have falling temperatures on Wednesday, but I don't see a whole lot of moisture around. Could rule out some flurries that may sneak their way in, East Kentucky, Cincinnati. That is a possibility, but I think more than anything, I think Wednesday looks to be the coldest day ahead for us. Then, as I broaden out the view, we head into later next week into the item of interest on the board, and this is where we get into some complicating factors here. This is the euro again. It is more suppressed today with the system in the Gulf before it rides up the eastern seaboard. And again, there's not a whole lot of cold to work with. If the system is a little more wound up and closer to the coast itself, then yeah, I think it would be able to tug on that colder air, and it does do so beyond this time frame. But at that point, the storm is already up the east coast and impacting mainly the northeast. So I still think it's something to watch. I don't think these are deterministic models, so they're going to waver a lot. So we can't pay any attention to how this is really going to play out specifically. Just keep in mind, we are seeing signs of energy that is moving across the Gulf states, has a chance to curve up the coast, and there is some cold air that could get involved to get tugged and pulled down. How all of these pieces work together yet, nobody knows that. All right, so that's why it is a low confidence meter. But as you guys know in Snow Talk on the blog, if it's a possibility, we will put it on here. But we will stress our confidence, and right now confidence is low. This is the euro. Let me show the GFS for the same time period. GFS is faster with bringing the low up the coast. It is a little more wound up. You see more of these white lines, a little more pressure lines around it, and it is trying to pull down some of the cold air. This would be more of an Appalachian snow event more than for our area, based on the GFS trends today. And maybe some hope here showing up from the CFS models. These are some of the different ensemble models, and it is showing a little stripe there. One model does, one shows a little bit there, some here, and then this one's the one that I think is really picking up on the idea of that low going up the coast. But you see it's more of an Appalachian snow and maybe some lighter snows over Kentucky at the tail end, but no sign of a snowstorm at all for our area with this setup. And this setup is not one usually can give us a snowstorm. Usually it's going to be an Appalachian snow. Usually for our area to get a bigger snow, it's going to have to track all the way through Alabama into Tennessee. And that then can give us something more interesting. But the pattern and the indices right now, the way they're lined up, don't really support that. So I think the along the coast idea is probably the most likely. But you know how this goes. Systems usually trend north, right, as you get closer. And maybe wishful thinking. All right, guys, that's it for right now. Stay tuned today for a special goodbye to Janelle at 5:30, and of course, I'll keep you updated whenever I get a moment this holiday weekend. Enjoy time with your family. Happy Thanksgiving to you and your family, and we'll keep an eye on these rain trends for the weekend. All right, be safe.